What up, gamers? I'm Jason.
I'm Julie.
And today on Dice and Dragons, we are going to be reviewing the new version of Horrified. This is American Monsters, published again by Ravensburger and designed by Prospero Hall. Now, if you're a cryptozoologist, I think this is the version that you want to play because...
Or if you're an X-File. Sorry.
Hey, don't cut me off when I'm doing my speech there. So as I was saying, cryptozoologists, this is going to be using those famous American folklore monsters like the Mothman, Sasquatch. You've got the Ozark Howler, who I've never heard of, the Jersey Devil.
Chupacabra.
Yes, the Chupacabra. And did I forget one? I think I got all of them. I
don't know if you said Bigfoot.
I don't think I said Bigfoot. Maybe I did. It doesn't really matter. These things don't exist, or do they? Maybe that's why my brain is zipping in and out. Never know. They've got mystical powers. But yes, cryptozoology monsters instead of the universal monsters, which is what the original game is based on. Now I'm going to toss it over to Julie to tell you more about the game itself. That's what happens when you have like a cough or something coming on. You got to go like, whoo!
It is a cooperative game for ages 10 and above, plays 1 to 5 players. The box is, I don't know if the box says it, but they say
it might be in the rule book.
They say it's a 60-minute playtime. It could very well be, but it takes us probably 30 to 40 minutes to play 2 players. So, it can vary basically depending on speed of play and, how used to playing cooperative games you are.
Yeah, this game is exactly like the original Horrified. For that reason, we will not be doing a how to play. There'll be a card that'll pop up over Julie's head that will take you back to our review and how to play of the original game so that you can learn all the steps you're going to need to take on your turn. We will, however, take a look at all of the components, so you'll be seeing that in just a moment. So what are you going to be doing in Horrified before we show off these beautiful components? Well, you'll be moving around this little town. You're going to be controlling an investigator, and you'll be able to take a certain number of actions. It's written here on your investigator's card. You also have a special action as well that counts as just any action. So the actions you can take is move, guide, because there are going to be these civilians that show up in town, so you can guide them around the town. You can share these different items that you're going to be picking up that you'll need to defeat monsters with other investigators. Then you can also advance, so basically advance towards what you need to do to defeat a monster, or take at last the defeat action and hopefully, discover that Bigfoot is real, get rid of the Mothman, and figure out who is the Jersey Devil. Did I miss anything at all, Julie?
I don't think so.
All right, so we're going to take it to the table one more time, but before that we need to
grab our drinks,
grab our best friend. And who do you want to be this time? Well, I set you up with the scout. We can always change that.
I like the jock. Was it the jock?
Yeah, the jock was the one that lets you pick up items
he was
from
fun.
An extra space. Now we're going to take a quick look at the components for Horrified American Monsters. Now, as I'm filming this in high quality, I don't have everything out here, but you're going to get a really good idea as to what you will be getting in the box for this game. As usual, we will start with the rulebook for American Monsters, and just like the original Horrified rulebook, it is very straightforward. I actually think the original might be just a little clearer, but I don't have any issues really with the layout. All the information in the book. If you have played the original Horrified, you can pretty much just pick up and start playing. The section that you're really going to need is what's in the back of the book with all of the instructions for the different monsters. Now, what I don't have visible are things like this investigator card. You may be wondering why the card is sleeved. Well, not really a big fan of the cardstock that's used in this game, so I sleeved all the cards, especially this reference card. So one side, investigator face, other side, monster face. Now we've got the bag here that contains all of the different item tokens. So you can see inside just a little bit. So we got a whole slew of different tokens that are contained in the bag. Now I'll move this off camera. I do have a few set aside to show you. So you've got blue tokens, brown tokens, and yellow tokens. Now each of the tokens has a different value on them, and depending on the monster that you're trying to defeat, that value will come into play. Now we'll take a look at the monsters that are included in the game. We'll also take a look at their miniatures. So here we've got the Jersey Devil. In order to defeat him, you have to figure out which of the civilians is actually the Jersey Devil, the 13th child of the witch. On the back of all of the monster sheets is a reference guide that tells you how to set up these different monsters. We have the Banshee of the Badlands. We've got the Mothman, the Ozark Howler, the Chupacabra, and of course, it wouldn't be a cryptid game without Bigfoot. So each of these monsters will be defeated differently, and their sheets will explain how you do that. All these monsters also have their own set of tokens. Some of them even have overlays, which are going to change the effects of locations on the map. I want to include those just to show you. Then you get other things such as these death omen markers, these other markers for the Howler. You'll have photographs that remain secret for Bigfoot, as well as Bigfoot trail footprints. And then, as you can see here, I've got this bag that has all of the different monster components that are kept separately. We, of course, have the terror marker token. We have the frenzied monster token. And we'll show off the miniatures. I actually do like the quality of them in the game. So here's the Jersey Devil. I really like the way that all these minis came out. They feel better, and I think they look a little bit better than their counterparts in the original game. We've got the Banshee of the Badlands. Here we've got the Mothman, Bigfoot, and he's probably my favorite. I just love the way he looks, and they did a great job with this ape man. The Howler's pretty good too. I like the Ozark Howler. And then, of course, probably one of the most famous, the very creepy looking Chupacabra. And we will also have these different civilians that will show up in the game. There are a total of 13 of them. I didn't want to show them all off because that's just too many. So you get the name of the civilian, and it tells you what destination that they need to proceed to in town to get to a safe location so they will not be eaten by said monsters, or eaten, attacked. It all depends. We also have the custom dice that have hits, blanks, as well as then the monster power token, power symbol, which you really don't want them to go off, as all the monsters have different nasty effects. We also have, of course, the tokens for the different investigators, their color, to help you separate them when you're playing the game. Especially with 5 players, it can get a little confusing. So I really like what they did. You've got a solid amount of representation here. A journalist is just hiding. Kind of tricky to pick them all up. And I will have to say, they've definitely improved the art, in my opinion, compared to the original. I haven't taken a look at the jock yet, so we'll show you the jock. Whereas in the original, everyone was just sort of a bland color. As you can see on their sheets, you get, you know, just a little bit more life, including the color. So you're able to see, you know, something behind them. It's not just, you know, a solid blue space. You see the number of actions you have and your special action that you can take. And the special action you can take as many times as all of your actions. So that's a really fun thing about all the characters, is that they really play differently. And, you know, this Mountain Man only has 3 actions, but he can move to any space. So you really got to use those actions as effectively as possible. Now we'll take a look at some of the monster cards. So at the top corner here, you can see how many items you need to put out, what the effects are, which monsters will activate, how they move, and then the amount of dice they're going to roll if they attack anyone. You may also see the fire symbol, which represents the frenzied monster. And also on this card, as you can see, Cross Creek Citizen tells you to place Dora at the diner, so she will then appear on the map. Lastly, for cards, we have the different perks. such as move each investigator up to 2 locations, place Bigfoot on any location, or move any monster 3 locations, place an investigator in any locations. You get these for ensuring that citizens get to their safe location, and they can really be game changers. Now, the last thing we'll take a look at is the map, and just like the back of the original Horrified, you got an awesome back for it. Like, let's just flip it over this way. For the moment, we get a nice letter, and then try to show it to you. You get a cryptozoological map of all the monsters, and then what I personally find to be, and I believe Julie agrees with me, you have to find out in our review, a very nice, vibrant, colorful board. So moving it around, you get a nice idea as to what the board looks like. So there you have it. We've taken a look at the components for Horrified American Monsters. Now keep it right here, as we'll be coming back at you with a review of the game. So Julie, what did you think of Horrified American Monsters? And I really want to hear this, because I've always said that she really enjoyed Horrified, but it's been a couple years since we got that one back out to the table. We usually play it on Halloween, and we haven't really been able to celebrate Halloween. So we got this new version, and I think she had a lot of fun with this.
I really had a lot of fun with it. I think I know actually that I liked it even more because these are monsters that, that are X-File-y. Like these are all X-Files. They could all be X-Files. So I thought that was pretty cool. I really enjoyed, actually, I think they have all been X-Files. Anyways, that's beyond.
Yeah, so why don't you talk about the background, why you love the fact that this is cryptozoological monsters. And I can't believe that's an actual word that left my mouth, but it did.
Well, no, I just think it's a lot of fun. It's not, the movies. It's more, I'm not gonna say based in reality, but
folklore and myth, yeah. American folklore,
yeah.
And she's trying not to say it, but I'm going to say it. She's a huge X-Files fan. Legendary Encounters X-Files is one of her top 10 games, so yes, she's had some fun experiences with these monsters.
So this is the same original way to play Horrified. It's very straightforward. It's easy to learn, easy to play. It's a nice cooperative game. You do have to work together, otherwise you lose, control of the board. It could be very quickly. Those stupid citizens keep popping up and spawning exactly where the monsters are.
Yeah. How many times did they die? A few times. It's like Jimmy shows up. He shows up at the mansion, but then, you know what? Oh, the Chupacabra's over there. But the Chupacabra was up here and he just ran into Jimmy. Like, that happens in the game. It happens a lot more often than you would think, and I don't know how or why, but it does.
So for this board, why I can definitely say I like it even more because of the monsters, but also I like the colors of the board more. It's less dull. I was gonna say the other one's macabre, but it isn't. It's just dull. Like, it's paler colors, it's drabber colors. This is a lot brighter, so I think it's, it's a lot of fun.
But I just want to interject. I also do prefer this brightly colored board, but that being said, the drab effect on the other Horrified board, I think fits very well with the 50s theme. Like, it's different themes. It's not something I'd say is a negative, but the way this one pops is definitely a lot nicer.
Well, and also, it's very thematic. You've got the hotel, you've got the city hall, you got a gas station, a mansion, it's
a small town.
Yeah.
It might be Hawkins, Indiana, but no, on the back of the box here it says the Cross Creek Gazette. So
there's not a whole lot more to say about the game. It's a lot of fun. It's easy to play. The monsters all play differently. They have their different challenges. The powers of the different players, investigators, are asymmetrical, which makes it fun. Some are more fun than others. As I said at the beginning, I thought the Jock was a lot of fun. The Scout wasn't bad, but I definitely used the Jock's special action a lot. He gets to pull items from another location, so that was very very practical.
The only downside that I would say to these investigators is they do feel, and it's been a little while since we played Horrified. We're hopefully going to play the original of this for Halloween. all these investigators and their powers feel like they are exactly the same as the ones in the original game. So if you're looking to get like, a different heroic experience, you're really not going to get that much of a difference. What you're going to get here is going to be in different fields because of the monster. I'd even say the perk cards are fairly identical. Same thing with the items and the item power. Like they serve really the same role. It's the American monsters that shine above all else.
Agreed. And the board, I think. I just think it's.
And the miniatures. These minis are definitely much better quality, at least in my opinion, than the ones for the original game. It feels like Ravensburger has been definitely upping their miniature game ever since we played Wonder Woman Challenge of the Amazons. That original game, that game just seemed to be like, I was like, whoa, these are Ravensburger minis? And ever since then, I've really enjoyed what they've put out.
Yeah. What would you like to add?
So I'm going to agree with you on a lot of aspects. I talked a little bit about the negatives in terms of the fact that the heroes are pretty much identical. Same thing with the perks, and the monster cards are fairly similar, but they do feel different because these monsters feel different. I think they've done a great job of, reskinning this game, giving it, it's fresh. It doesn't feel exactly the same, even though they haven't necessarily done a ton of work developing this to get it out. Now, do you need both games in your collection? And I have to say, no.
I don't think so.
I think one or the other, you'll be fine. We play a lot of games. We like variety. So for us, we also have the space for it. So we will definitely keep both of them because I can see us playing one more on Halloween just because Julie likes this one better and this one coming out on some more regular occasions. Also, there's points in the production quality that I don't like. I mean, we've got this bag for the American Monsters. I much prefer the bag in the original. I believe it's a cloth bag. It just felt a little nicer, though this kind of goes with the, like 80s, like snack bag theme. So it all works together. I don't really have any complaints. The art is still really good. I enjoy the art. I actually think that the art might just be better overall in this version of the game as well. So production-wise, I think you've got a better version of the game. But that being said, thematically, you should pick whichever theme you want because this is a great family game. It's a great family Halloween game, and you can play this with anyone, anywhere. I still stick by what I said with the original game. You can teach this game by just saying you've got, an investigator, you've got 3 or 4 actions. That special bit is in action, special ability, and then just go with whatever is on the card. And then when you take a look on the back, the monster face is quite clearly detailed. Like, I've taught people...
I just noticed something. I'm sorry, Jason. You just showed something that I never noticed. It says the Federal Bureau of Paranormal Investigations?
Yes.
Sounds very X-Filey. Sorry, I did not mean to interrupt you.
Yes. But, everything is clearly explained on this one card. So as long as someone knows how to play the game, you can pretty much just set it up, hand out the reference cards, and you're good to go. That's what I did at game night, and everyone had a blast. And this is one of those games that people think is going to be kind of meh, but it's just a lot of fun. Also, the difficulty level, we should talk about that before we summarize everything, is the difficulty level is very scalable because you can play easy with 2 monsters, you can play standard with 3, and you can play on the hardest difficulty with 4 monsters. And not all monsters are created equal. We definitely made a mistake when we were playing against the Jersey Devil. You got to beat that monster first because the citizen cards all get removed from the deck. So the only way for you to get them back in is by defeating that devil. And we really were down to the last card because it was the last monster we defeated, meaning that we essentially given ourselves 13 less turns than we could have had to win the game. And it was really down to the wire. Other than that, I would say, did you find any of the monsters to be particularly challenging?
No, I mean, they all have their different their different aspects or whatever. I'm sorry, couldn't find the word I was looking for. But no, I think they're all fairly easy, but I do agree that the Jersey Devil is like the monster.
Yeah, and it makes sense. The Jersey Devil is probably one of the most well-known and scary monsters? I think so. I don't know if the Jersey Devil was in an X-File episode.
Yes.
Okay, well, I actually didn't know about the Jersey Devil until we played the Snallygaster Situation is when I heard about the Jersey Devil.
Nope.
I fell off the X-Files for a little bit. So on that note, if you do like this theme and you're looking for another game that's also good for families but maybe has a little bit higher complexity level, Kids on Bikes, Snallygaster Situation is one you should definitely check out as well. So I don't really have anything else to say. Great production value, great job for Ravensburger.
Well, you do
a big difference than our last Ravensburger game that we reviewed last week.
Yeah.
Pick this one up over the other one.
So, what's your rating?
Well, I think that little upgraded production value and maybe the fact that we haven't played this for a little while made me feeling just a little bit nostalgic, but I've got a lot of good memories of the original and I really like this one just as much, maybe even not just a little bit more because you were having more fun. So I think this is an 8.5. I think that Horrified...
Wow.
I think you need Horrified in your collection because it plays so easily. If you're a board gamer, you've got non-board gaming friends, you gotta get this game. And I think for people that maybe are a little bit less into the monster theme, this theme with Bigfoot and these American monsters will just go over a little bit better. I think Horrified is definitely turning itself into a collection essential, one version or the other. Now, this one is getting a little bit higher, I believe, than the last game, just because I like the production value more. It's just raising it up for me.
See, and I don't remember what I gave the other one, but I'm going to give this one an 8. I think it had a lot.
Just an 8?
I'm not going to change my score just because you gave it an 8.5. I enjoyed playing it. It's fun. It's easy. I like the monsters. It makes me think like I'm an X-File. I'm an FBI
No,
player.
you're from the Federal Bureau of Paranormal Investigation.
Yes. So on that note, it's time to remind you to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified when we have new content for you.
And take a look down below in the video description. You'll find links to all of our social media feeds, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you'd like to see pictures of Julie and I playing Horrified American Monsters, as well as Horrified, there are plenty of those on our feeds. Also down below in the video description is a link to multizone.ca, a great Canadian game store. Click that link, you'll get 10% off your next purchase, and it's a great way for you to support the channel as a portion of that purchase is returned to us. So go ahead and check them out. And then popping up in front of us are going to be links to some of our previously released videos. In front of me will be our most recent release, and in front of Julie, should it be Horrified or Kids on Bikes?
I think you can put Kids on Bikes now. You've talked about it so much.
I think I should put Kids on Bikes. It's just a little bit more thematic than this one, and the original Horrified was linked earlier. So yeah. Kids on Bikes, the Snallygaster Situation. Make sure to check out those videos if they interest you. And on that note, we are going to grab our drinks.
Oh, and we're going to get a little closer.
Grab our best friend.
We're going to keep playing games.
Definitely going to keep playing games, and I don't see Horrified going out of the collection anytime soon.
Nope.